The Sea of Hope Foundation helps families navigate through the waves of grief when they're experiencing infant and pregnancy loss. Join us in the next 30 minutes as we hear from all the committee members who share their personal stories and how they are using their experiences to help other families who are grieving. I'm Christy Breslin, and this is Harford MagaScene. Christina O'Mara is the founder of the Sea of Hope Foundation, and this is a foundation that helps other families who are grieving. It's not easy to talk about infant and pregnancy loss, but Christina has created an organization where it makes it okay, acceptable, and healing to do so, and she's here to tell us all about it. Christina, welcome.
Thank you so much, Christy, for having me.
Christina, what first inspired you to start the Sea of Hope Foundation, and really what was the vision behind it?
So when we started the Sea of Hope Foundation, we wanted to do more hands-on work with the community. We wanted to be able to go to the hospital and make sure that the money that we were raising was going to actually help other families who've suffered from infancy and pregnancy loss, to be able to purchase those boxes for the hospital, to be able to do more grief support and have that hands-on approach to see what we've done do good within the community. And it's grown, and the life that it started was just honoring our daughter. That's how it started. We wanted to honor our daughter's life and to make sure that she's not forgotten. But in that same instance, we were able to reach so many people, and it became just to take on a life of its own, where it's not just about my daughter, it's about all the other children, all the other babies, all the other families out there that we can recognize.
Well, this is a really, really difficult thing to go through. So tell me a little bit more about your baby and, of course, the keepsake that you have.
Yep, so this is a picture that I don't really rarely share with the public. It's a picture of my husband and I the day that we delivered our daughter, Ariella. She was born at 20 weeks, and she was born at 1:16 in the morning. And in the hospital that we were at, the entire room was dark. The lights weren't on, there was no commercial lighting, there wasn't even a glow from the computer. The only light that came was from the hallway, and it didn't even reach to where we were. And this photo was taken with my husband's cell phone. And I was devastated at the time when the photos were taken, because I thought that they weren't going to come out. We weren't going to have any sort of memories of her, any kind of photos of her. And when we got the photos back, or when we looked at them later, we didn't realize, but there was this natural light inside the room that we couldn't explain. And my husband is one of those skeptical kind of people who his faith is a little bit different than mine, and he couldn't even explain it. He couldn't explain where the light was coming from because nothing was on. So this is the photo that I keep so close to me, because it shows my grief, it shows us together, it shows that the love that we have for our daughter in one photo, and it just speaks so many volumes, and we keep it close.
Oh, that is definitely tough to share. And Sea of Hope, you just support so many grieving families. So what do you feel makes these programs so meaningful?
So we started out with just wanting to help families with bereavement boxes and, giving them support groups. But we realized that for our own experience, we have other children, and we wanted to make sure that those children were taken care of as well. Not just the support of mom and dad, but when we had to come home and explain to our son, who was a little 6-year-old at the time, that his sister wasn't coming home and that she wasn't going to be with us here, we were struggling to find the words, and having those questions and being able to have families to have that response to be able to help them answer those difficult questions when family members or their own children ask them, we wanted to give back. So we created a support group for bereaved siblings. We offer a scholarship program for continuous education called the Wave of Promise, and it's in a sense where it's a gift from their sibling who's no longer here, to watch them grow, to watch them continue. And we want to continue our outreach towards the hospitals with better education and better bedside manner for those doctors, because my committee and myself, we can all attest that our one moment in the hospital that's triggering can be led down to a doctor or a staff member who just did not know how to address such a touchy, such an emotional, raw moment. So we wanted to be able to provide and just soften the blow in those first moments and then thereafter to be able to support continuously.
Now, Christina, let me ask you, what do you want people to understand about grief?
We're all different. We all grieve differently. My grief compared to somebody else's grief is never going to be the same. We could have gone through the same exact thing, same moment, same time, same everything. But the way that I grieve and the way that they grieve are not going to be the same. And I've learned through losing our daughter that I will never truly understand what someone else is going through. So I no longer say, I understand what you're going through, or I understand, it's more just being there for them, having that unspoken connection.
Now, Christina, I know that you told me that having keepsakes is very healing to you. Now, you have a few, right?
I do. I have some of them with me. I have our daughter's hand and footprints. These were actually taken at the hospital. I have this little mermaid that I purchased when we buried her. I wanted something to be at her spot to mark, and I couldn't put myself to leave it out there in the weather, so it stays home with me. And then some of the others are one of the things that we have from one of our events. It's from the Sea of Remembrance Walk, and all the families who came out to participate received something that looked like this with their baby's name on it. So keepsakes are truly important to me and to the infancy and pregnancy loss community.
And Christina, you have so much support. I know you have some people you want to thank.
I do. I want to first thank Divergent Donuts for letting us host our interview here today. They not only host the interview, but this is where we do our in-person pregnancy and infant loss support group. And we wouldn't be able to be the nonprofit organizations, the Sea of Hope Foundation, with the community. I'm so grateful for the Harford County community and the surrounding counties and states who have come out and shown support for our nonprofit.
Well, it's a great cause. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Absolutely. And coming up next, we're going to speak to the co-founder and get the male perspective from the Sea of Hope Foundation. Stay with us. I'm now joined with the co-founder, also Christina's lovely husband, Aloysius O'Mara, and he's here to tell us more about the Sea of Hope Foundation, his perspective, and how he got through such a difficult time. Wish, thank you so much for being with us.
Hi, Christy. Thanks for having us.
Wish, how has experiencing loss changed your perspective as a father? And what do you want more people to understand about loss?
As far as the foundation's work, I'm just trying to be as supportive as I can of the committee itself, and do whatever they need from behind the scenes, because I don't like being up front. I don't like being in the front, in the forefront. So I try and just help from behind and help to try and be as supportive as possible.
Now, Wish, one thing is many fathers feel a lot of pressure to stay strong during grief. How can fathers allow themselves to feel and process that emotion?
It's difficult, but if they just let themselves be included in whatever grief is going on in the household, and feel everything that everybody else is feeling, because everyone in the house is feeling the same thing. They just might not be feeling it the same way.
What are some misconceptions about how dads grieve? And what do you want other people to understand about the grieving process?
That we care just as much. We're going through it just as well as everyone else is. I don't know how else to say it other than that. We're here to try and help pick up the pieces, but at the same time, we also are going through our own grief and trying to process it as well. So it becomes a little more difficult.
What does it mean to you to turn your own experience of loss into something that's helping others get through the painful experience of having their own loss?
It means everything. Our daughter's being remembered every day, and that's all that matters to me.
Now, speaking of remembering your daughter, show us your tattoo. That is such a great way to remember her. Such wonderful memories, and she certainly won't be forgotten.
Not ever.
Wish, what would you like others to know about the Sea of Hope Foundation?
We're not gender exclusive. We cater to entire families. Anyone from the dad to the uncle to the grandparents. It doesn't matter if you lost your child 30 years ago or 5 days ago. We're here for you.
Wish, thank you so much. It's really hard to speak openly and honestly about this, and you are just selfless, giving back to the community and sharing your personal experience to help others get through something that's very difficult for them. So thank you so much.
It's not a problem. That's what we're here for. We're here to help.
And as you can see, Sea of Hope Foundation is here to help, just like Wish said. So if you or anyone that you know of thinks that you could benefit from their services, reach out. Sarah Willis is a committee member here at the Sea of Hope Foundation, and she's here to tell us all about her involvement and what it personally means to her. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Christy. It's great to be with you today.
Great to have you. Sarah, what first inspired you to join the Sea of Hope Foundation, and what does it mean personally to you to be involved?
So for myself, Christy, I've actually suffered a couple of losses. One was an earlier loss around 7-8 weeks. So unfortunately, we didn't know, we were having a boy or girl or anything like that. And then following that loss, we were expecting twins. And we lost our daughter, Briella, around 24 weeks. My surviving son, Miles, his twin sister. And in my recovery during that period and, wanting to support other families and to be able to share with other people and make sure other people didn't feel alone, because sometimes it can feel isolating, and to be able to look for ways to take that grief and turn it into something positive, not just for me, but for my entire family, for my husband, I have an older son, for Miles, who is 4, and for my 2 stepdaughters, because we have a range of ages from 14 to 4 years old, and to show them that there are ways to positively deal with some of these things that happen in our lives. And so for me, it was important, how can I help? And how can I help others while at the same time helping myself and my family? And so that's a big piece of why it was important for me to be involved and to show them how being involved in our community can be so important.
So Sarah, people watching, maybe they've experienced loss themselves, maybe they have someone else that has. What would you say to encourage them to get involved in this organization and to share their own story?
I would say absolutely. I would say this group that we all work together with the Sea of Hope, this committee, these women are truly wonderful support. Everyone is here to help each other families. Everyone is so supportive in so many ways. And this is also a way for you to be able to help others in a way that works for you and your family as well. All of us have very busy lives. Everybody has plenty of other things going on. There's never any pressure that, you have to be at this or you have to do this. It's just a great family, honestly, of amazing people who just want to help others feel less alone and be able to sort of survive what their new reality is after a loss.
How has the foundation changed your own healing journey?
So it's been very positive for me in being able to have an outlet for when I have those days that just are a little bit tough, or I'm feeling some of those different emotions, to know that I have support and to know that I also have a purpose in some of those emotions, in trying to help others and making sure that others feel a little bit less alone, and hopefully I can bring a little bit of peace to them as well.
Sarah, thank you so much for everything that you've done, and this foundation, it just means so much to the community, so thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Christy, and it was great to talk with you today.
Absolutely. Now, how can businesses and organizations support the Sea of Hope Foundation? We'll find out more coming up. We have another one of our loyal committee members, Caitlin Hogenkamp. She is here to talk about why she got involved, why she stays involved, and why this organization means so much to her. Caitlin, thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Caitlin, when did you first learn about the Sea of Hope, and what really encouraged you to join?
So I've been helping out the Sea of Hope Foundation before it really was the Sea of Hope Foundation. Back when we were hosting live events with some other organizations, I started off as a vendor. And through the years, I wound up experiencing my own losses during that time. And Christina was such a bright light for me that I knew once I was at a healthy point of my healing journey that I wanted to help make an impact for others who were going through that experience as well.
What do you wish that more people understood about pregnancy and infant loss?
Though I wish no one had to go through that experience for themselves, I would hope that they know it's more common than you might think. 1 in 4 is the statistic, and more than likely there's more people affected than you really could even count because of those who may not have ever felt comfortable coming forward with their own journey. And being there to be supportive, whether it's a family member, a coworker, a friend, a neighbor, just hearing them out and meeting their needs where they're at that moment is a huge impact, and it will last as well.
Well, how do you believe Sea of Hope is making a difference in the community?
Man, we've already seen waves of responses ever since we started our in-person events, our virtual groups, our support groups that are peer-to-peer. There's already just such a great opportunity for impact on families who are going through pregnancy and infant loss, whether it's we assist hospitals or surgery centers with bereavement boxes for the families, or self-care kits for the mothers, gifts for the siblings who, are expecting to be able to meet a brother or sister that they're just not going to have the opportunity to do so. Those are just little ways that we've been able to help the families in our local community, and we're looking to broaden our horizons a little more as we move forward, but just knowing that we're not letting people be alone is huge.
Moving forward, how can local businesses, organizations, or even individuals support Sea of Hope?
Well, we're extremely grateful for the support that we already have had, and as we continue to grow, we're happy to partner with those who are interested in supporting our mission. Some of the ways that we can do that are through financial contributions. Volunteer work for our in-person events is a huge one that would be very, very impactful at the moment. But anytime anybody has any questions like that, as long as they get in contact with us, we will always have something for them to do or to help out with. So we're more than happy to talk.
Well, what really keeps you motivated to continue doing this work, even though, it's a hard subject to talk about?
It is. It's very emotionally impactful and heavy at times, but I think one of the ways that it gets easier is knowing I'm with other people who have gone through that experience as well. They can understand the hurt, they can understand the pain, they can understand that some days I can get through it no problem. There are other days where it can hit very fresh, whether that's through seeing other children go through milestones or even our own rainbow baby going through milestones that we're not going to be able to see with our others that were lost. But what really is the motivation is just knowing that we are the difference for a family who didn't have the type of support that maybe we do have, but that's why we offer it.
What has been the most beneficial part of being involved in the organization for you personally?
I think the most beneficial has been seeing the impact that it is making on others and knowing that we were able to do good in a situation that we would never wish upon anyone. Being able to let someone feel like they can open up to us when they have had to hide a secret for years. I mean, we've had people who, at the time when they were going through it decades ago, it was not talked about. There was shame involved. There was just this silence that was placed upon them, and they can finally feel free enough to have that conversation with us and to share their story. Same thing goes for someone who's going through it within the last few hours. I mean, there's not many people who can really understand what you're going through, but the fact that we leave ourselves open to be able to share our own experience and to help cover when they're going through their loss can be a huge, huge difference in someone's healing journey.
Caitlin, thank you so much for coming on here and just sharing your experience and why this foundation is so important to you, because getting to talk to all you ladies off air, it's really become quite a close-knit group.
It really has, and thank you so much for letting us share our stories.
Oh, absolutely. And coming up next, speaking of sharing stories, one of our newest committee members shares her perspective on the Sea of Hope Foundation. You don't want to miss it. Kim Dinan is another committee member, and this isn't easy to do, but she is here to share her personal experience and why the Sea of Hope Foundation has really helped her throughout the healing process. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Christy.
Kim, how does being part of this committee help you honor not only your baby, but all the babies that we've lost?
Being a part of the Sea of Hope Foundation helps me honor my twins because I feel like it helps me honor them by remembering them and helping others realize that it's okay to talk about them and it happens and you're not alone.
Now, when you first experienced loss, how did the whole family react to that? Not only yourself, but how did everybody else handle it?
So unfortunately, mine was during COVID times, so I wasn't really allowed to be with my family other than FaceTime, so it was very, very hard. I am thankful for cell phones and technology to be able to communicate, but again, it's hard. It's hard to comprehend and understand and know what to say or do or be there, but I'm very lucky to have the family I do have.
What does it mean to you that you have taken your very painful journey and turned it into something that can help others get through their own?
It means a lot to me because I feel like I get to constantly talk about my babies where it's not making someone uncomfortable because we've been in that situation, and helping spread the word that it's okay to talk about them. It happened, but they were still our babies.
Oh, absolutely. And aside from that, what other message would you like to give parents that are grieving?
You're not alone, and you're gonna have bad days, sad days, okay days. There's things you're not gonna wanna go to, and it's okay. You're not alone. Just take it one day at a time, one step at a time, and we're always here.
What do you think families gain from attending events like the Wave of Light Remembrance?
So those are actually some of my favorite events. They're very eye-opening. It makes you realize there truly is a community other than just yourself out there that has been in your situation, a similar situation. And it helps you remember your babies and think about them and talk about them. And it's a sad experience because it always gets me in my feelings and I may cry a little, but it's also a happy experience.
Well, you are definitely making sure that your babies are remembered. And tell me about the dynamics of the group. I know it's a close-knit group.
So I feel like everybody kind of has their own place. I'm new to joining and just kind of finding out where I'm going to fit in best, but everybody's very welcoming, and like I said, I'm new, but I feel like I've been a part of it for a while and known them forever.
How have you changed since joining the group? Do you feel it's made you stronger?
I just feel like I found a more sense of purpose.
Kim, what would you like to say to people that are watching right now? Because this could be emotionally taxing.
It can be very emotional, but don't ever feel alone or scared. There's always somebody there to listen and to be there to help you.
Kim, thank you so much. And like you said, your words of encouragement mean a lot to people because it's a special type of person that can share a very traumatic experience to help others. So thank you so much for all that you do.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back. As you've seen today, the Sea of Hope Foundation is here to help anybody that is experiencing the loss of an infant or pregnancy. Christina, we've got this white pumpkin here. What does this symbolize?
The white pumpkin symbolizes in the infancy and pregnancy loss community the loss of your little one. And families purchase or are gifted a white pumpkin that they put on their porch during Halloween throughout the month of November. And it shows to the community that we have a loss and we want them to be known. So having a white pumpkin is just one of those extra things, extra mementos that we can keep our child, our baby, our little one's life alive and continuous in the community.
And that's just one of the many things the Sea of Hope Foundation does to make sure that our little ones are not forgotten. So more information, how can they find out more, Christina?
They can visit our website at seaofhopefoundation.org.
So thank you so much for joining us. We hope that these stories have touched you as much as they have touched us. I'm Christy Breslin. See you next month on Harford MagaScene.